had a recruiter message me on LinkedIn. In those days, I usually replied back no thank you, these days I just ignore. I read the notification but didn't get back within a few hours. The recruiter called our main directory and asked for me and got my extension to ask why I haven't replied and to essentially try and get me to interview. No thanks. That aggressive, nope. Also, personally, I will never respond or use a recruiter to acquire a job. Not in my industry, but my partner has gone through this 2 times with recruiters where she's been screwed over royally and finally got her off using recruiters to find better jobs.
I think one of my best was getting called and asked by the recruiter if I was a full-time employee looking to leave my current position, which I was for the right job. They verified where I lived and then told me about the job, which was to unbox and cable up printers. I was already out at this point but was curious. They then told me the job contract was for 4 hours for $19 per hour and asked if I was willing to drive to a different state. I laughed so hard and said not a chance.
I'm late to the party on this one. Had a recruiter call me for a great opportunity that, based on my LinkedIn, I was a perfect fit for. Great, I'm open to seeing what my worth is, gives me the whole rundown of the position. I politely ask what's the pay range. This was my first mistake. They snarked back and sighed, pay isn't everything. While I agree, I'm not taking a pay cut to leave my current role. The range is from $40,000, $60,000 mind you, my current title is senior architect. Definitely not that range. I declined. This is far, far under my value. You need minimally to double the high side to even be in the ballpark, plus 100% remote. They hung up.
Third interview and was told I was ineligible due to lack of degree. I guess a degree is so important these days that you can't land a job without one, but also not important enough that someone would check if you have one before wasting hours of your life for interviews. Yesterday I had a 3rd round job interview, where my education was brought up and was told since I didn't have a bachelor's degree, I wasn't eligible to be hired. I guess the current labor shortage doesn't affect IT, since even with years of experience I'm apparently not smart enough to do the job I already do. Makes no sense to me.
You're sick and can't make it to the 4th interview? Your loss, we're moving on to another candidate. I interviewed for a member services rep position and made it to the 4th round of interviews. I was emailing back and forth with the 2nd interviewer about a day and time to meet with the CIO, but because the CIO had extremely limited availability, it was difficult to agree on a time. Once we finally agreed to a time, as luck would have it, I woke up sick the morning of the interview. I emailed the 2nd interviewer right away, about 4 hours before the scheduled time, and told her I should be better by next week. I apologized for the inconvenience and reinforced my interest in the position. No reply. This past Tuesday, I reached out again asking if I was still being considered for the interview, along with my availability for the week. Still no reply. Today, I got an email from the person I first interviewed with saying, while we were impressed with your qualifications, we decided on another candidate with qualifications that are more closely aligned to this role's responsibilities. Homie! This was a glorified call center position. I have 7 years of cumulative front desk/call center experience, and I've trained people for front desk before. Why do I get the feeling that it had nothing to do with my experience, but more to do with the fact that I was sick and unable to meet with the CIO on his timetable? It's not like they were indifferent during my interviews or in emails, either. They seemed very interested in me as a candidate, and were desperately trying to coordinate a time to meet with me for the 4th interview. Maybe I rubbed them the wrong way when canceling the morning of the interview, but it's not like I planned to wake up sick, nor do I think they would have appreciated it if I had shown up to the office in that state. Just another example of employers expecting us to respect their time and circumstances but won't give the same courtesy back to their candidates. I'm tired of this rat race.